everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today's look will be all about this purple smoky eye. So if you want to try this out, please keep on watching. Okay y'all, so let's get started. So today I am using the Morphe James Charles palette. All of the shades that I'll be using today will be from this one palette. So first I want to go ahead and start with my transition shade. I'll be using this light orange shade, and then also I'll be using the burnt orange shade right next to it, not that red shade, y'all. I don't know why I pointed to that, but I'll be using the light orange and the burnt orange right next to it. Now I'm using both as my transition shade. Now I want both colors to look seamless and look like one shade, not two. So I'm going to be blending a lot right here. So I'm gonna lay down the light orange shade first, and then after I'm gonna go ahead and layer that burnt orange shade right on top. But I'm going to blend. I'm gonna blow this out, y'all. I want it to look like one transition shade. I felt like the orange was just a little too light for the other shades I'll be using, so I wanted to layer that burnt orange shade on top. That way it can, you know, all go together. So right here I'm just blending both shades together, y'all. I need it to look really, really blown out and really seamless. Okay, so right here, guys, I'm just using a brush really similar to the first one, and I'm going to go into the palette and use this violet shade. It's somewhat purple, somewhat pink, maybe like a fuchsia color. I'm gonna go ahead and use this in my crease as well, but I'm going to use this in my outer V. And what I'm going to do different from the orange shades, that's really blown out, the orange part, but with this fuchsia color I'm going to go try to concentrate this in the crease, y'all. I'm sorry, I cannot talk today. So I'm gonna basically put it in my outer V and in my crease, but I'm gonna go ahead and try to concentrate this in the crease. I'm gonna stay really, really close to the crease. I'm not gonna blow this shade out. So as you can see, I'm laying it in my outer V right now, and I'm also going into the crease. And I'm just gonna do this until I like the outcome. Okay guys, so right now I'm going to use this fluffy brush. Now this brush has no product on it. What I'm doing right here is I'm just trying to blend both of these shades together. So my transition shade and the shade in my crease, I want it to be seamless as well. So I'm just using this brush that has no product on it, and I'm just blending right now. I'm just making sure that there's no harsh lines, and I'm going back in with that orange as well, the light shade only, just so I don't, you know, lose that color with all this blending that I'm doing. So yeah, you want to blend.
It's not a game, it's a rich thing.
So right here, guys, I'm using the MAC concealer pot, the Studio Finish concealer. This is in the shade NC30. Now this shade is really bright, guys, so I'm only using this because I do want my lid shade to be really vibrant and like really, I just want the shade to just be vibrant as it can. So I'm laying this shade down to kind of cut out my crease. Now this is not going to be a perfect cut crease, but I do want this to be sectioned out from the rest of the eyeshadow. So I'm going to cut out my crease right now with that concealer. So this will take a little moment. Y'all, I'm not a makeup artist, but I feel like I get myself together sometimes. So yeah, I'm just cutting out the crease, guys. This takes a lot of work, y'all. I'm still trying to perfect it. But what I usually do, as you can see right here, I put a good amount at the bottom and I try to look up just to see where that shade might transfer. Okay guys, it's time to go ahead and lay down that lid color. As you can see, I'm using that metallic purple shade. It has reflex in it, so a little bit of glitter. So I'm using that shade on my lid, and y'all, these lashes are so long, so y'all gonna see me play with them the whole video. I'm trying out some lashes, so I'm just trying to make sure I actually like them. But yeah, usually I do put some type of powder to set the concealer, but with this one, since it had some reflex and some glitter in this shade, I really just wanted to like lay it right on top of the concealer because I wanted to see how bright I can get it. So I'm gonna lay that directly on the concealer with no setting powder on top. So I'm gonna just fill in the space where I laid that paint pot as perfect as I can with this pointed. This is somewhat of like a pointed brush, kind of like a pencil brush, but it's a little bit more fluffy. So I'm gonna lay that as much as I can, and then I'm going to use this tiny flat brush. I'm trying to get y'all to see it. It would not focus. But I'm going to use this tiny brush. That way I can, it would not focus, y'all. That way I can go ahead and do the edges. I just want to be a little bit more precise once I get up there. That way the lid shade can stay where it needs to stay. Okay guys, so I'm going to use that fluffy brush and I'm going to go back into that violet pink purple shade, and I'm going to blend out the edges of this cut crease. So basically in that outer V area and where that lid shade ends, I want to blend that together. I don't want it to be harsh. So I'm going to use that violet shade that I used before, and I'm just going to really blow that out in the outer V and somewhere in the crease. I want to deepen all of that up. I'm going to go in with this angle brush, and I'm going to use that to actually go over into my crease. That way I can keep that shade right in my crease. Like I said before, I don't want this pink shade to be really blown out like my transition shade. I want to stay somewhat in my crease. So right in between the transition right in between the transition and the lid shade. So I want to keep it right there. Y'all, I cannot talk today. But yeah, I'm going to blow out that shade right there. And now I'm just going to go back into that light orange shade. I want to make sure that it's still there. All of this blending, guys, like these shades can kind of get, you know, kind of disappear with all the blending that you're doing. So you just want to keep packing those shades on and making sure everything is still there with all the blending. And I'm using now that clean brush with no product, and I'm just blending everything together, making sure it's all seamless. Now I'm going to use a fluffy brush again, but now I'm going to deepen up that outer V. I'm going to go in with that chocolate brown. Yeah, that's a chocolate brown. It's not too dark, but I do want to deepen up my outer V and somewhat of my crease. So I'm going to use that to just deepen up the look and give it some definition. So as you can see, I'm lightly putting this color on, y'all. These shades are so pigmented, like a little goes a long way. So I am barely putting this shade on because I don't want it to be too dark. I just want to deepen it up a little bit. And y'all, I'm sorry, I am jamming. I don't know what I'm listening to, but I am jamming. Okay, girl, you're doing too much. Y'all, I love music. I really be jamming. So I'm still blending. Y'all, when I tell y'all, that is basically all this is, y'all. Blend, blend, blend. You have to have patience. You have to keep going in, making sure those shades are still there, and just making sure everything is like seamless. And as you can see, when we put in that darker brown, that kind of like blended out the outer V and the lid shade too. So it just all came together. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and apply my lashes. Now these are some lashes that I got from AliExpress. I was just testing out some just to see what styles I like. Like I said, these lashes are super long. They're almost too long for me, which is crazy because that does not happen often. But yeah, so I'm probably prepping the lashes. I guess this is a hello from my lace. So yeah, I'm just prepping my lashes so I can apply them and everything can come together. First, I'm going to go ahead and coat my lashes with the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. I do want to coat my lashes before I apply the falsies. So I'm just putting a light coat. Nothing, not too much, because I just want my lashes to have a coat of mascara. That way it can blend with the falsies. That'll make them blend a little better so you can't really tell. y'all, but I'm going to finally apply the lash. I was blowing them at first just to make sure the glue was a little tacky before I laid them down. So yeah, I'm just applying them. They are really, really long, y'all, but they still complement the look. I wish they were a little bit shorter, but they still look good with this. So I'm just making sure that the lash is laying down on both sides. Okay, y'all, this is me trying to make sure that I like these long lashes. But it looks good. So now I have completed my eyes, y'all. I do want to go ahead and start prepping my face. So I'm going to use this Pure 4-in-1 correcting primer. This is really, really good for dry skin. I have really dry skin, y'all. So I need a primer that's hydrating. So this is Hydrate and Balance. It's oil-free and silicone-free. It feels really, really good. It's kind of like a jelly type of consistency, but it's really, really hydrating. It does not leave my face dry, and that's really, really good for me because, like I said, I have dry skin. And don't be like me, y'all. Use the makeup wipe before you prime. That way you can get like all of that excess eyeshadow and the glitter that I have on my face. Just get all of that off and try to clean it up as best as you can. That way it doesn't peek through your foundation. Okay, so now I'm going to struggle with trying to show y'all this foundation, but I am using the Too Faced the Too Faced Born This Way foundation, and this is in the shade Butter Pecan. So I'm just going to apply that to my face, and of course I'm going to use a beauty blender. And now I am using the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. I love this concealer, y'all. It is like so thick, but it's the Tarte Double Duty Beauty Shape Tape Contour Concealer, and that is in the shade 37G Medium Tan Golden. I love this concealer, y'all. Like, it lasts so long, and it's so like, what do I want to say? It's really, really, it's like a really good coverage. Oh, I could not get that out, y'all. But now I'm going to use my Maybelline setting spray in this flat brush to go ahead and move that product around. I like to use this before I use my beauty blender. That way I can move the product around without picking it up, because a beauty blender is still a sponge, so it is going to pick that product up. It's going to absorb it. So I kind of like to use the flat brush. That way I can move it around and just keep that, you know, full coverage going on. And then I'll go in with my beauty blender just to, you know, buff it out. Okay, y'all, I am still buffing out that product. Well, not really buffing it out, but I'm just moving it around and blending it as much as I can with this flat brush. I'm going over my nose, and I'm also going to blend out on my chin. So now that the product is moved around, I'm going to go ahead and start blending with my beauty blender, and I'm going to use that pointed end, not the butt of it, but the top, the pointed end. And I'm going to go ahead and just buff out all of the edges, make sure everything is seamless, no harsh lines. Okay, now that I have everything pretty much blended, everything, no harsh lines, everything's blended. I'm going to go in with my Airspun loose face powder. This is the original formula, y'all. I love this powder. It has lasted me so long, and I still have a lot. So like I said before, I do have dry skin, so I don't really bake. As you can see, I'm pressing the powder in. So that's really what I like to do. I try to press the powder in as much as I can. And my beauty blender is damp, y'all. Like, make sure your beauty blender is damp. Please do not use a dry beauty blender. And I'm just making sure I have concealer all around the bottom of my nose as well. So I'm just pressing in that powder. I'm not really laying it on top to bake. I'm pressing in the powder as much as I can. I went a little crazy with my chin, but we're gonna dust that off in a minute. So now I'm quickly going in with this big fluffy brush, and also my NYX Stay Matte But Not Flat powder foundation, and this is in the shade Deep Golden. And I'm just going to go into the shade, and I'm just going to basically get as much product on that brush as I can. I cannot talk, y'all, but I really want to get that brush fully coated and just pack that on as much as I can, just all over the face. So yeah, I'm going over the highlighted areas and also everywhere where I put foundation. So I'm basically using this all over the face, my chin area, a little bit, you know, lower than that. I just want to basically use this to bring everything together. So this will be the powder that I use in all places, under the eyes, cheeks, chin, nose, just all over, just to blend everything together. Going in with an angle brush to contour with. I'm going to use this NYX 3 Steps to Sculpt palette. It's a face sculpting palette, and I'm going to use that darkest brown shade to go ahead and carve out my contour. So this shade isn't really too dark when I contour and when I bronze. I don't like to use really dark shades. I just want to bring some color back into my face. So I'm just using this, of course, in the hollows of my cheeks, and I'm going to bring it up just a little bit. Also going to carve out my nose, so I'm going to use this type of brush, which I cannot remember the name of for the life of me, but I'm going to use the Black Radiance press powder for my nose. Now for my nose, I really like to stick with the shade that's like slightly darker than my foundation. I don't really like to use harsh contour shades for my nose, so I'm just going to use the Black Radiance press powder. This is in the shade Warm Hazelnut, and I'm just gonna go ahead and lightly contour on both sides, and then go ahead and blend that out. Make sure it's seamless. Okay, so now I'm going in with my beat up, don't laugh at me, y'all, but this stuff is life. But I'm going in with to highlight. I'm gonna use my Wet n Wild Mega Glow highlighting powder. This is in the shade Golden Flower Crown. I'm gonna use this fan brush to apply it, and of course I sprayed some of my Maybelline Master Fix setting spray, just so it can, you know, of course, show up the way it needs to. So I'm just applying that in all the usual areas, on the bridge of my nose, on my cheeks. I feel like this highlighting powder is perfect. Like, it does not go on, like, it doesn't show up too much, but it shows up just enough that way you can like build it up. So it's like perfect. So of course, yeah, I'm putting that on my cheeks, on the bridge of my nose, and I'm gonna put a little on my chin as well. Okay, so I'm just trying to make sure I like the way my highlight is looking, because like I said, I just build it up until I basically like the outcome. So that is pretty much it, y'all. I'm going to now move on to my lips. I'm going to use just a regular brown liner, and I'm just gonna line my lips. Now I'm going to line my lips, y'all, and I'm also going to kind of color in a little bit, because this lippy that I'm using is going to be kind of bright. So I just want to go ahead and line and color in just a little bit. I'm filling in my lips with this Wet n Wild multi-stick. It's in the shade Nudie Culture. So I'm just going to lightly fill in my lips with this nude. I think it's kind of like a lip crayon, but it's by Wet n Wild. It's really, really pretty. But I'm going to also go on top of that just to bring it all together. So I'm using the Fenty Beauty Diamond Milk Lip Gloss. This is a gloss bomb. Y'all, I love this gloss. It is so pretty, especially on top of like nude lipsticks like this one. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put that directly on top. So yeah, y'all, that is the finished look. That is it. That's all. That's all. If you like this look, please like the video, comment down below if you have any questions, and of course subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, that's pretty much it, y'all. I'll see y'all in my next one.